LeBron James. Shams Charania, another interesting report that I thought just was worth kind of paying some level of attention to, where he says we still don't know where LeBron James is going to be. Is he going to finish his career with the Lakers, or is he going to be somewhere else? I think it's very much up in the air. I'm not sure what he knows exactly. I'm not sure that he knows exactly how the end is going to play out. Could it be with the Lakers? Sure. But he's a free agent at the end of the season. So if he's going to continue to play, there's clearly a chance he's somewhere else potentially. But again, he could stay with the Lakers. Now, that's a lot of, smoke and mirror ways of trying to get a few clicks by stating the fact that, there's this lingering storyline of the Lakers potentially losing LeBron James this upcoming summer because they're not necessarily a title contender right now. In terms of them being built for the now, yes, they're building towards the future. You have Luka Doncic, you have Austin Reeves, you brought in DeAndre Ayton, you obviously have Jackson Hayes, you have Rui Hachimura on contract, and this team is trying to make sure that they're positioned well for the 2027 offseason, where guys like Nikola Jokic, obviously Giannis is the headline of that summer as well. So the Lakers are building towards the future. They're not necessarily built to win a championship this season. I know we said that last season they messed around, ended up being the third seed, and were, a team that looked pretty dangerous, at least going into the postseason. But nonetheless, that does draw a lot of questions as to, like, okay, what could LeBron do, right? And during the summer, Rich Paul did have his comments. I'll read them because I think it's important to reiterate this. Rich Paul did say LeBron wants to compete for a championship. He knows the Lakers are building for the future. He understands that, but he values a realistic chance of winning it all. We understand the difficulty in winning now while preparing for the future. We do want to evaluate what's best for LeBron at this stage in his career and in his life and career. He wants to make every season he has left count, and the Lakers understand that, are supportive, and want what's best for him. So, similar to the John Morant exercise, the first thing you have to ask yourself is, situationally, why would LeBron James end up on a different team before ending his career? Obviously, the first one was stated in the quote from Shams Charania initially, which is, well, he's not signed through anything beyond this upcoming, or excuse me, LeBron James is not signed anywhere beyond this season, right? He is an unrestricted free agent at age, 41 by that point, 41, 42 years old by that point. And he has the chance to kind of go wherever he wants to. And he can, by that age, he realistically can do so on, if he's willing, and this is always the question with LeBron James because it's been said in the past, if he's willing to take a pay cut / in his case at his advanced age, be signed to something like the obviously not the veteran minimum, even though I guess you could say logically he's quote unquote eligible for that, but with the amount of money he's made, I think he's actually not, because the veteran minimum is based off of certain percentage of the money made on the prior contract in terms of what's available. So I think LeBron has just made way too much money as a guy who's a deserving max player on a year-to-year basis. Or at least you could say he has been a deserving max player on a year-to-year basis, where a vet minimum obviously is impossible. But could you get LeBron James on the mid-level exception, which is, if you did a mid-level exception 1 year, 20 million or 15 to 17 million on the mid-level exception for LeBron James. Interesting. Now, of course, let's go to the question of, all right, LeBron, let's say you don't finish your career with the Lakers. Who would you finish your career with? Well, we have to think about then what the criteria are, right? The easiest one is the one that Rich Paul states, which is he wants to be able to win and maximize the opportunity to win a championship every single season. What are the teams that fit the bill for him to be able to do that, also factoring in their contract situations and the ability to take in his money at the end of the season, if not maybe have the draft capital to trade for him in season, if that's the most viable way to actually bring him in without messing up their books too bad, right? Couple teams that are kind of interesting on that one. Obviously, the first team that comes to mind is returning back to Cleveland. The three spot has been the biggest hole for the Cleveland Cavaliers pretty much since LeBron left. The second time to the Lakers, especially in this Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland era, where they've had Jared Allen and Evan Mobley, and this, you know, four horseman group has just been looking for that three man who can, guard, knock down threes, and move the ball. And, they tried that through Max Strus. They've tried that through acquiring DeAndre Hunter, right? But none of them would be as good from a passing perspective as LeBron James. And LeBron James is an improved 3-point shooter. He was a knockdown 3-point shooter on like 7-8 attempts last year when he shot 40% from beyond the arc, which is no easy feat, right? That's real elite level stuff to have that kind of volume and be hitting it from beyond the arc that high of a clip. Pair that with the fact that he obviously put so much pressure on the rim, and this is a guy who sleepwalks himself into 6+ assists per night. So obviously the first name that comes up is the Cleveland Cavaliers for all of the natural reasons. Retire at the place where you started your career, come home, finish your career in the place where it all started, both in terms of your career and your life as a hometown kid. Win another championship for Cleveland. Prove once again to Dan Gilbert that you can't win a championship without me in your jersey. There's a lot of different things that can contribute to LeBron James wanting to do it that way. Another team that seems like it would be in the quote-unquote ready-to-win area, the question would just be about the financial aspect of it, is the Golden State Warriors. Obviously, there were a ton of different notes about this past Olympic team, and one of the biggest things that came up was the idea of LeBron James and Steph Curry playing next to each other on the same team. And the likelihood that Steph Curry and LeBron James would link up on a team like the Lakers, highly unlikely. The Golden State Warriors, on the other hand, is a lot more of a realistic play because Steph realistically isn't going anywhere, and LeBron has his contract set up to position himself to maybe be able to freely go to the Golden State Warriors on a reduced salary that allows him to fit into their numbers, or he could be a part of what essentially acts as a delayed sign-in trade, where maybe with the value that Jonathan Kuminga has built up through the beginning of the season, paired with the fact that he's making a little bit over $20 million on his new signed contract, where he's signed for the next 2 years, and it's really more of a 1+1. It allows the Lakers to either bring Jonathan Kuminga in with the intention of him being a long-term piece, or you can actually drop his contract and it be ahead of the 2027 offseason, or he becomes an unrestricted free agent going into the 2027 offseason, where it doesn't disrupt your plan to try to go after like a Giannis Antetokounmpo, that summer, right? So Jonathan Kuminga plus maybe a little bit more for LeBron James, it's something. I'm not saying that it's a great idea if they're the Golden State Warriors, but again, the situation with Golden State and Jonathan Kuminga is one that's so interesting because right now all the vibes are good, but again, once it comes time to come back to that negotiation table for another real long-term contract, which he can do as soon as this summer, again, it's a 1+1 essentially in the format of this contract, he can basically come back this next summer and discuss a contract extension, because although he'll be signed through next season, he will be eligible once again to negotiate trying to get another contract extension. Does Golden State want to go through that contract extension discussion again? Or do they want to just do something that kills two birds with one stone and get a win now ready player that can easily slide into the Golden State offense as a ball mover that LeBron James can be? I know LeBron tends to have more of a heliocentric vibe in the sense that he tends to need rosters that are built well around him. But in his advanced age, I think he's a guy that with the way he's able to shoot the three ball now can legitimately fit in a Golden State Warriors offense where they like to move the ball around a lot. You have another guy who can also put so much pressure on defenses with Steph Curry. You have a guy who draws fouls like crazy and is able to help in the half court, and Jimmy Butler, who's another really good ball mover. Defensively, you still have Trace Jackson Davis and Draymond Green on that team. I think Moses Moody is a good high-level IQ player. Maybe you have to give up Jonathan Kuminga in the trade, but if you're able to still hold on to Brandon Podziemski, that's huge. So then the Golden State Warriors are the next team. And then the third team after that it becomes real wild cardy, right? Like team, like in the past, you've heard the Dallas Mavericks rekindling the team up between him and Kyrie Irving, and then you would also have him also being able to play with Anthony Davis again. Do the Los Angeles Lakers really think they can get away with making another trade with the Dallas Mavericks? I beats me. I wouldn't do it if I were the Lakers. I wouldn't try your luck a second time because I think Dallas would honestly. I think Dallas would be foolish um, to do that, and I don't even know what Dallas could give up. Houston, again, very interesting situation because they have the kind of young pieces across the board to be able to move. You could move someone like a Jabari Smith Jr. You could move someone like Atari Eason and Reed Shepard, and you can get LeBron James, who at age 42, in a sense, could kind of come in and be your point guard as somebody who is like a beefier Rajon Rondo with a better 3-point shot as far as his advanced age. Like he's not somebody that's you need on that team with KD and Alperen Sengun to be a 20-point per game scorer, right? He can be the when you have Amen Thompson, Kevin Durant, and Alperen Sengun, it is kind of like Rondo sitting next to Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, and Kevin Garnett in the sense of like, yo, you just gotta come in, do your job, get the big fellas the ball, and I mean, be an above average defender, or at least an average defender at best. Obviously, Rondo was a above average defender in his time with Boston. He could be that type. I'm not comparing LeBron James to Rajon Rondo, by the way. I'm just saying in terms of what his role could be for a team like the Rockets if he were on a team with Kevin Durant and a team like on a team with Kevin Durant, Amen Thompson, Alperen Sengun. I mean, that's a really good fit roster construction wise. So there's that. The New York Knicks, kind of nasty, but him, Jalen Brunson, you probably have to move off of one of either Mikal Bridges or OG Anunoby in that trade. I think the Lakers would probably rather have OG. I think the Knicks broke up the Villanova Knicks boys one chop already by moving on from Dante DiVincenzo. I don't know if they have the cojones to do that a second time and move off of Mikal Bridges. I mean, but they could. Let's say they move off of OG. You send the Lakers OG and Anunoby. Now he's next to Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic. Oh my God, that would be filthy. But also LeBron James, Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges. Still got Josh Hart. Or maybe you don't. You probably do. Probably do realistically. Still have Josh Hart. Still have Karl Anthony Towns. I mean, there's something there. I think Houston is a better fit than the Knicks. I think that if you had to put them in order of both what was realistic and what I think would be the best fits, I would probably say that it is fitting in all of the criteria, which is win now, can fit in next to a player who can be a number one option, where LeBron can easily slate himself in as a number two or even a number three, depending on the circumstances. I would say the best order would be Cleveland for storyline purposes, direct fit need, and storyline wise. Golden State, storyline wise, of teaming up with your OG rival and Steph Curry. Obviously, from a fit perspective, we've seen those two guys play together in the Olympics. Obviously, it's a different style of game playing in the Olympics, but still, nonetheless, would be one of the dopest years of all time if we got a full season of LeBron James and Steph Curry playing, two-man action next to each other, and you have Jimmy Butler on the team too. Filthy. And then Houston. And Houston's going to be in all of these conversations, right? Just because they have the draft capital and the depth to legitimately move off of guys and move off of capital to go after these big fish to fill positions of need, to go for it right now. So Houston's going to be in all of these conversations. It's why they were one of the teams that got mentioned for the Ja Morant conversation as well, right? So I would say in order, Cleveland, Golden State, Houston third. You guys let me know in the comment section for this one. Let me know if LeBron James becomes a unrestricted free agent this summer, which he will, and he elects to not return to the Lakers, but he is not retiring, where do you believe he would want to go, and where do you believe he would best fit? Those can both be either the same answer or they can be two totally different answers. It depends on how you feel about it. Again, maybe storyline matters a little bit more than basketball fit to one answer, and that's why it skews. But which team, and it doesn't have to be one of the teams I mentioned, which team do you believe would be the best fit for LeBron James? And which team do you think LeBron James would most likely consider going to if he elects not to return to the Lakers when hitting unrestricted free agency this summer? I'm really interested to hear what you guys have to say because LeBron James changing jerseys again sounds nuts as it is. But obviously, if he goes to the Cleveland Cavaliers, we've seen that movie before. Just would be a different roster. But any other jersey for LeBron past Miami, Cleveland, and the Lakers now, man, it would just throw me off by like a country mile. But at the same time, he's looking to win now, and there are a few rosters out there, at least from a roster construction standpoint, that are a lot better than what the Lakers got right now. Because Luka's great and Austin is great, but the depth on that roster is so tricky, and they are definitely building with the intention of trying to free up cap space for 2027, so they're not going to be bringing any help in anytime soon. Next up,